Welcome to Solo Storytime. Today we're going to be reading a book called Little Man's Family. This book is written by J.B. Enoch and illustrated by Diné illustrator Gerald Nailor. I look forward to reading this book with you all today. Now let's get ready for story time. Little Man's Family. I am a Navajo boy. I have two sisters. I have a baby brother. I live with my mother. I live with my father. My father is called Little Man. My mother has a baby. He is my baby brother. He sleeps in a cradle. My mother carries the baby. She carries the baby in a cradle. She carries a cradle on her back. I have two sisters. The big one is Nanaba, and the little one is Hasba. My sisters help my mother. Hasba watches the baby. She watches my baby brother. He is Hasba's brother too. She keeps the baby from crying. She must be a good sister. I live in a hogan with my mother and my father. My baby brother and my sisters live in the hogan. The hogan is our home. We like our home very much. My father made the hogan. He cut the logs. He piled the logs to make the walls. He piled the logs high. He piled the logs in a circle. He left a hole for a door. My father placed logs above the walls to make the roof. He used smaller and shorter logs to make the roof. The roof has a hole in it. Smoke goes out the hole. He covered the roof with mud. The mud keeps out wind and rain. My mother makes the fire. She makes the fire inside the hogan. The fire is warm. The fire makes the hogan warm. My mother cooks on the fire. She cooks our meat and coffee. My sisters help my mother cook. Nanaba makes the bread. Hasba gets the water. She carries the water from the spring. She carries the water in a bucket. Everyone is helping everyone. We take baths in a sweat house. It is like a small hogan. We place hot rocks in the sweat house. Then we go inside and close the door. The heat from the rocks makes us sweat. After much sweating, we are clean. When we wash our hair, we use soapweed. It grows in the sand. We dig the roots from the sand. We pound the roots to make them soft. We put the soft roots in water. The soft roots make the water soapy. The soapy water cleans our hair. We wash our hair. Our hair is long and black. It shines when it is washed. We like clean hair. My mother and father have many horses. My mother and my father ride horses. My father has a big saddle with silver on it. My mother has a saddle too. It has silver on it. My mother and my father have bridles and saddle blankets too. I have a little pony. It is a little spotted pony. It runs very fast. I like to ride my pony. I sing when I ride. My mother and father ride in the wagon. The baby, my sisters, and I ride in the wagon. The wagon is large. It is green. The wheels are red. Horses pull the wagon. My sisters ride horses. Hasba rides a bay horse. Nanaba rides a roan horse. They take the baby with them. My black dog goes with them. We have sheep. The mother sheep have babies. The babies are called lambs. The sheep and the lambs eat grass. I think they're so cute too. We get milk from the goats. The milk is very good. It makes us strong. We do not get much milk. We would like to have more. We have many goats. The goats have long horns and long hair. The mother goats have babies. The babies are called kids. The goats and the kids eat grass. I herd the sheep and the goats in many places. I like to find places with much grass. In winter, there is not much grass. I have to go far to find the green grass. Green grass makes the sheep and the goats fat. We like the sheep and the goats to be fat. At night, we drive our sheep into a corral. The corral is made of sticks. The baby lambs sleep in the corral. They are safe in the corral. The sheep give us meat. We kill the sheep to get the meat. Fat sheep make good meat. We catch the blood. My mother cooks with the blood. My mother's sheep have long, straight wool. It does not have much grease. When the sheep are sheared, my mother shakes out the loose sticks, then she cards it. First she picks out the knots, and then she cards it. When the wool is carded, it lies in soft rolls. Then my mother spins it into thread. She twists some of the rolls into a loose thread. She spins the spindle with one hand. She pulls the roll of carded wool away with the other hand. Then she winds the spun thread on her spindle. Sometimes she spins the thread again to twist it more. When the wool is spun, my mother washes the yarn. She washes out the grease. She uses soapwood and water to wash the yarn. Soapweed makes thick suds in the water. My mother dips the yarn up and down in the water, then she squeezes the water out. If she wants white yarn, she uses gypsum. She puts a little gypsum into the water. The gypsum makes the wool look whiter. My mother dyes her yarn many colors. She finds many plants that she can boil in water to make the dye. Some make a beautiful yellow, some make soft browns, some make red. They make a beautiful rug. For black yarn, my mother uses the wool from black sheep, then she dips it in black dye. The dye is made from the pitch of the pinon tree and yellow ochre and juniper ashes. My mother winds the yarn into pretty colored balls. Some of it will make the warp for the rug. The warp threads are the long threads. The colored yarns make the weft. The weft is woven across the warp. My mother weaves a design in soft colors with the weft. My mother made her loom. My father helped my mother make it. He put 2 logs in the ground. The logs were strong. He put a stick across the top of the 2 legs. He put another stick across the bottom. My mother strings the warp across 2 sticks. She ties the sticks to her loom. She pulls the strings tight. Then she is ready to weave. My mother starts at the bottom to weave her rug. In and out between the strings, her fingers take the colored weft threads. She uses a smooth stick to separate the warp threads. Again, she takes the weft across the warp. Then she separates the warp another way. That helps to make the design. My mother weaves fine rugs. She weaves soft colors and simple Navajo designs. Her threads are smooth and tight. White people like my mother's rugs. When my mother has made a fine rug, we take it to the trader. The trader gives us food for the rug. He gives us flour and coffee. He gives us fruit in cans and maybe cloth too. My mother teaches Nanaba and Hasba to weave. She shows them how to clean the wool, then she lets them card it. They learn to pound the soapweed root to make the suds to wash the wool. Nanaba has learned to turn the spindle. Soon she can weave rugs to sell. Now you know us. You know my father. He is called Little Ban. You know my older sister. She is called Nanaba. You know my younger sister. She is called Hasba. You know my baby brother. You know my mother. And you know me. The end. Thank you so much for reading this book with me today. I look forward to reading more stories for you, so don't forget to check back often as I read new stories each week. Have a beautiful day.